I was blessed to be able to work with James on and off for about 3.5 years doing the same project, Fences. We started at Yale. We went to, when I was a second year acting student at the Yale Drama School, we did it. Then we went to Chicago. Then we went to San Francisco. And these were, months were in between these, like 7, 8, 9 months in between these. I remember at Yale when Fences was first mounted during the rehearsals, no one spoke to me much. I was the youngster, and so I was so green. I just kept quiet and I watched everything. Everyone was so relaxed and free with each other. There were these anecdotes and stories just literally flying around the room that first week. But I was struggling. I was just trying to find out what to call him. I didn't know Mr. Jones. Everybody was calling him Jimmy. He's not Jimmy. But I couldn't figure out, so I just called him Sir, which dovetailed nicely with the play because that's exactly what my character, Corey, called him. Yes, sir. I remember at the Yale rehearsal, Lloyd Richards, the legendary director, the first African American to be nominated for a Tony for Best Director, and our dean of the drama school pulling me aside and telling me, now, Courtney, if James were any other star, he'd tell you himself. So I'm going to tell you, you are upstaging him. When you speak to him on stage, stand downstage of him so the audience can see him. I said, oh, that's what upstaging is. I didn't know. I can only imagine how his eyes must have rolled up into his head. I remember at Yale, at the Yale rehearsal, that Lloyd Richards let James and I giggle through the famous "How Come You Don't Like Me" scene. For the first 2 weeks of the rehearsal, once we got up to that scene, we just started. I would look at him and he would look at me and we would start giggling, and the director, Lloyd, just let us giggle. And then after about 2 weeks, he looked at us both and he said, okay, Courtney, let's go in now. And the tears flowed for the next 3 years. I remember Lloyd pulling me aside during the pre-Broadway run at the Current Theater in San Francisco and telling me, now, Courtney, choose 2 physical gestures of James Earl and then find 2 places to place them in the play. After doing the play on and off for almost 2 years, I knew exactly which 2 gestures and exactly where they went. James always did this. Go on and cut them bows. And the other physical gesture of his was, and so I knew that where this one went, I would tell my little sister at the end of the play, going back in the house and tell Mama we're going to the funeral. And the other one was where I told my mother, I don't want to be like Troy Maxon, I want to be me. And of course the audience just, oh. James, when you see this, I want to personally thank you for Mr. Jones, James, Jimmy, all of those names, sir, for allowing me all these many years to be part of your family. You will never, ever, 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 ever know how deeply you are ingrained inside of me. I was blessed to be given the acting challenge to grow into you, and I am ever so grateful for the opportunity. It changed my life. And now, James, if you don't mind, I'm talking to you like you're here. James, Jimmy, if you don't mind, I'd like to sing you a little song that I think you may have heard before. For those of you who don't know, it's called Old Dog Blue. It's a song from the play that James's character Troy taught my character Corey when he was a little boy. It is a song that helps Corey with that difficult transition into manhood that all young men must navigate. Old Dog Blue. I had no dog. His name was Blue. You know Blue was mighty true. You know Blue was a good old dog. Blue tree, the possum, the hollow log. You know from that he's a good old dog. Head ring. Blue tree, the possum out on a limb. Blue looked at me, and I looked at him. Grabbed that possum and put him in a sack. Blue stayed there till I came back. Old Blue's feet was big and round. Never allowed a possum to touch the ground. But old Blue died, and I dug his grave. I dug his grave with a silver spade. I let him down with a golden chain. And every night I called his name. Gone, Blue, you good dog, you. Gone, Blue, you good dog, you. Blue laid down and died like a man. Blue laid down and died like a man. Now he's treeing possums in the promised land. I'm gonna tell you this to let you know. Old Blue's gone, where the good dogs go. When I hear old Blue bark, when I hear old Blue bark, Blue treat a possum in Noah's Ark. Blue treat a possum in Noah's Ark. That's the way that go. Thank you, Pop.